Hello, my name is Owen Llewellyn and we're here on the Loaf. And the main question I'm going to address now is uplands hill policy and farming in Ireland versus biodiversity, climate security, flood relief and carbon sequestering. So one side is you can have sheep farming in the upland hills, hard to get to in the tractor, very little return for wool. You can't even sell wool now at the moment. And very little return on the meat. You know, there's only a few people earning meat. That's Larry Goodman and a few others who earn money from meat in Ireland. The farmer's earning nothing for his land. He's really being reduced to nearly serfdom in his function. The chemical industry earns money, the agrochemical machinery earns money, but the farmer earns very little. The government earns their taxes, and the really large guys in meat earn money, and the supermarkets. The upland area should be used for native, so here we have Glen the Downs, native tree planting, not conifer. Here you have your conifer quilcha spread. It should be native planting on the uplands. What does that do? It captures the water, it produces clean water, it creates biodiverse habitat, it creates habitat for insects. In turn, all the other trophic layers that follow that, they all develop alongside that. So even if we take all the uplands for farming and building, as we have done in Greystones, everything's taken, there's still a place for wildlife to live up here. Not only that, the streams that come down have a really brilliant start. The water, the minerals are all really clean as they go through farmland and towns into the sea, and then that benefits the sea with the correct mineral transfer and biota transfer into the sea to help the seagrasses grow, the seaweed grow healthily, because there's no way the seaweed grows in isolation from the deposits it gets from our rivers. This is a relationship developed over millions of years, so the idea that they're not related, of course they're related. So fish stocks, saltwater fish stocks would be directly affected by this as well. We're about to spend 10 billion in flood defence over the next 10 years in Ireland, and very little of that, as far as I know, is looking at natural defence systems. So Ken Whelan, who's a top specialist in Ireland on, here's a nice little bird, Ken Whelan, who's a top specialist in Ireland in water. He's been working this for 30-40 years, as far as I know, studying fish stocks, but also studying rivers, how they move and how to put them back, and how to stop this terrible use of the term channeling. A river isn't a road, it's a living system supporting all of our wildlife and supporting us. So the policy should be that hill there, this hill is native forest until the gradient becomes safe to farm. But even so, on that smooth gradient here, that would still, the upper layer should just all be forest. You see great examples of this in Japan, where they nearly all the uplands are left as forest, because they know that that feeds the lowland hills with loads of minerals and keeps them really healthy. Yeah, so once again we have a great chance to partake in doing this on this project that I'm trying to put together on the Tree Trout stream, that this stream can act as a micro philosophy of micro to macro, where we take one small project and we do it as a prototype for the rest of the country. This allows for your building still to take place, it allows for agriculture still to happen, although I'd like agricultural practice to move to an organic base over the next 15 years, with all farmers fully earning the same amount of money, if not more, for their product, because it becomes an A-grade product around the world and trusted around the world as having no chemicals associated with it, really healthy meat. You know, our farmers work hard enough. Our job is to provide the taxes so they can transition into this. If we don't do this, you're going to have upper collapse in hills, which happened recently in Kerry. There was a whole side of a hill just collapsed from the level of rainfall that hit that hill. But these areas are no different. If you keep stripping back any form of structure, you can have huge soil runoff, and the farmers are going to lose in the end, you know, especially in the Midlands, where we're seeing really large flooding, parts of Cork, you know, there's a lot of flooding taking place in these areas. So everybody wins. And what we need to also do is destroy this ridiculous, obvious game of chess that the government set up since the 40s, where any form of environmental concern for land is something against the farmer. I don't believe for 1 second it's the farmer saying that, it's the government saying that. And the government gives nothing to the environment. It's so little. Since the 40s, we've given nothing, like very little money to it. In return for, like, the Department of Tourism earns so much money from our land, but yet I don't see them fighting for policy to protect or enhance areas. You know, it really is minimal. So hopefully everybody can come on board for this change, and we can't do it without the farmers. And 65% of our land is farming. A change to 25% canopy cover within 15 years is what I'm proposing. If we don't do that, we're not going to be carbon sequestering CO2 out of the atmosphere fast enough. We're not paying our dues in the world. This needs to move really, really quickly, and we're just way behind. Anyway, Ireland is still an amazing, beautiful place, but we need to be moving 25% native tree cover. You can have another 10%, that's your quilcher farm if you want, your conifer belt, fire ahead, but we need 25% native cover. That's continuous forest. You can harvest it every 50 years, some bits out, you don't fully cut the forest down. Okay, thanks guys. I'm rambling, but someone's got to ramble, right? We got to make this change. Thank you. Goodbye.